Alrighty, I'm back. Here we go. We will try to get Gabby back on. We got somehow pirated in there. At least it was a positive pirate in love with us, so that's good. Allie, Blaine, Miss Lady, thank you for joining back in round two. Welcome. That was interesting. I haven't had that happen in a long time. Something like that happened to me with Zoom early on as well. So I am waiting now.
Hi, positive pirate. That is amazing.
That's what it was. I know you. I know you would get it. I think that our energy was just so fluent that other people kind of got into the flow, and then I couldn't get them out, so I had to restart.
You know what? But that's the magic of flow is once you're caught in it, it's like finding Nemo and you're the turtle in the like wave and that's it. Once you're in that flow, like it's gone.
That is so awesome because I am the middle-aged mutant turtle in the flow, so that works perfect for me. I am so interested in your therapy coaching.
Thank you.
Obviously, I meditate every day, have for over 15 years. I'm a quantum healer, studied in India. I do over an hour and a half of research every single day, in particular, looking at these types of things and how they're applicable to the pragmatic world. I think that's a nuance that's a little bit different than a lot of people that are searching for a greater awareness, wisdom, or enlightenment. I love to apply the pragmatic world and blend it with this incredible journey that I found. And I was the most resistant and pragmatic person when I first started. So
Me too.
tell
I'm
me,
from New Jersey. Like you, I was like not about. I was like meditation. Like what is that magic stuff?
yeah, exactly. I was like more on the side of meditation, like only broke, sick people that live on their mom's couch dreaming about what they want and are high all day. They meditate. I make
Yeah.
things happen. Who has time to meditate, right?
Only hippies and tie dye, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
What changed
fascinating
your
to
mind?
hear
What
about
changed your
that.
mind? Because I think that's a really important question. What changed your mind?
Well, what I say is like, I think for me, I got to a point where I had battled my mental health and mental illness so much, depression, trauma, PTSD, complex PTSD, and chronic anxiety that developed because of it, that I had reached a point in my mid 20s where I kind of was like, okay, I'm so lost, so depressed. I've been to therapy. It didn't work for me. The worst part was I was hyper self-aware, which was great. So I could watch myself self-destruct, but I couldn't do anything about it. And so the turning point for me was when I kind of woke up one morning and I had this really scary thought, which was like, I either really want to check out of this life or like, I gotta figure this shit out. And like,
Right on.
thank God, like, or whoever or whatever, but like, I chose to figure it out. I'm a stubborn girl from New Jersey. And like, I was like, no, I am not gonna let this be the thing that like completely changes my life and destroys me. And like, that's it. So I really felt like there was like much more that I was meant to be doing. Um, so that's really what changed my mind, being pushed to a point where like emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, I was so lost and broken that I had no choice but to be like, all right, well, I've tried all the traditional things. I guess I have to try something else. And
You're
that was it.
you're a lot luckier than me because I needed other people to tell me how lost and broken I was because I had defined myself by my monetary success, and
Mm,
I defined myself by the job that I had and the title that I had and the all the bank accounts I had and the houses and the material items. I defined myself by all that, and thank goodness I had just a few people that weren't giving me a yes as an answer. Just a few people that cared enough to say, dude, you're so effed up. You're so
And
lost.
you think at the time, those are the friends you want to be away from. It's like, no, they're calling you in. They're saying, we love you. We're
Yeah,
seeing something that we're worried about and we want to do something. You should be worried about the friends who go, oh, let's just go party. Or like, you're
right.
fine. It's great.
You're
Those people
amazing.
go,
You're
yeah.
amazing. Just throw down your credit card and I'll remind you how amazing you are. Uh,
Oh, yeah. And
yeah,
that was
it
that.
was an interesting journey. Now, therapy coaching is very much in alignment with what I believe, and you can change people in all the realms, right? The mental, physical, spiritual, even their financial realm through therapy. Um, how did you become, such an extraordinary coach utilizing this type of therapy?
Well, first of all, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
like don't even feel that way,
See,
honestly.
I might as well just turn on you what I just told you not to do. You're
Yeah,
amazing. Just, give me $100 and I'll tell everybody. I'm
I
joking.
love that.
I don't
No,
take any
I
money. No,
appreciate
don't give me
it.
any money.
Um,
People, they're so literal on the internet, right? Like, oh my
yeah.
God, Dave Meltzer is like pitching the girl for $100. No, no. This woman
Sorry,
is
guys. I
wonderful
like
and
I
she is not paying me a dime. I said that out of true belief. All right, go ahead.
No, I really love that. And it's just so makes me so freaking happy that there are other human beings like Dan Siegel, you, Joe Dispenza, just a handful, really not that many people who devoted their lives to really putting the science in the woo and the woo in the science and connecting it together, which because they are very intertwined. So for me, the way I came up with my methodology of working and kind of blending the Western and Eastern practices and knowledge uh, really came about from healing myself and understanding like the way that I worked, and not saying that everybody works this way, but it really freaking worked for me, and it's backed by science. So it's the idea that mental health is really holistic healing. Physical health, spiritual health, mental health, it's all intertwined. They all work in tandem. It's all part of the same machine. So most it's really crazy to me. Most sciences, most disciplines are also separated. You've got the neuroscientists saying personality and things come from this. You got the psychologists saying this. You've also got like 3 million different versions of psychology, all saying it comes from different places. You've got Buddhist theory, you've got religion, you've got spirituality. It all is like kind of yes and, like there's no right, it's all yes and it all blends in. So it's like, how do we approach healing from that place? How do we approach it from not just a mind place, but a body place, a spiritual place, energetic place? And especially when you're working with trauma, so much of the damage lives in the body. And so I really just went on a journey of my own, like, okay, what feels good? What works for me? So what worked for me? Yoga, breath work, meditation. The day that I really found meditation for real, I was actually like studying with a bunch of Buddhist monks in the south of France in the middle of a 18th century chateau. It was dope. And I stayed there for like 3 weeks with my psychology master's program. And we just like meditated and actually really learned what it was. Like not the kind of Western version of like sit and be still. It's like the actual really deep philosophy behind it and what it's about. And yogic practice and all of those things. And after I found those modalities, I started to see real changes in my everyday life, like very significant changes. I am a recovering alcoholic. It was part of the way I dealt with my trauma, was numbing it out. And I was able to get sober. And it was something I'd been trying to do for like, no lie, like 5 years. And when I found consistent, great meditation practitioners to follow, I started reading about neuroscience, neuropsychology, the brain, the nervous system, polyvagal theory, and just consuming as much as I could. And then I put together something that incorporated all of these different ways of understanding how we are and why we are the way we are. So it's kind of I guess it's like complicated, but I
And,
hope that
and
makes
it's
sense.
not though, because, like I looked at your Academy, I looked at your Ignite program, and I thought to myself, there's this paradigm shift, and you're very young to have figured this out. And probably because you had a lot more trauma. I looked down the list of the traumas that you have, and I was like, whoa, she's almost as messed up as I am. That's amazing. But more importantly, by studying what you're doing, I think this is important for people to know. There was this huge paradigm shift of I need to get healthy, instead of when I'm looking at all your stuff, it says I am healthy. What is it that is interfering with what I am? And I went, because I studied your stuff, I went down, as I normally do in my research time, the rabbit hole of understanding, because I was studying the Course in Miracles, which this morning aligned with everything that you teach. And it was, about holiness. And I looked up the definition of holy with a W, being whole,
Yeah.
and holy with the H, which was a remarkable thing for people to do, because uh, I'm looking at what you do as this oneness, this wholeness with a W, And yet, historically in Latin, holy with an H, which were, as you were defining all these different practices that separate us, the actual word holy comes from the Latin root sacrum, sacred, which actually means what? Separate, which is completely counterintuitive to the science and technology of the spirituality that we teach, the mental components of it, the physical components of it. And I think because the only trauma you did suffer that I did was the financial one, you know, because I had lost so much, that I think the only, when you look at Dispenza, you look at Wayne Dyer, you look at all these different people, Deepak, all my mentors, Bob, they didn't suffer that trauma. So I'm one of the few people out there, like you said, there's very few that apply science to the spirituality of the woo-woo. I think one of the gifts that I have, and we're so aligned with your Ignite program, with what I do, is on the financial side, is that
Yes.
I am the only one through personal experience that can apply this technology, this mindset, heart set, and conscious competency to financial, because just like you were in a car wreck and you've been sexually assaulted and all the different things you had to learn from, that's the unique lesson beyond the other stuff that I had that are similar to other people. That's my like superpower lesson, was
Yeah.
that I can apply what we know and we're sharing to impact others. Real quickly, because I went over, and it's pretty normal for me to go over, but I was late with you because of the universe was teaching us.
It's Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, exactly. um, Biggest lesson that you've learned so far through this journey, and then let everyone know where they can find you.
Ooh, so the biggest lesson is that we are all exactly where we are meant to be on our own journey, and we're okay. Even if we're in pain, even if we're not exactly where we want to be, even if we're unhappy, any of those things, we're exactly where we're meant to be. And I really encourage everyone to find a way to transmute your pain into your power and make it into what makes you special, and share that with the world, because we need more people who have experienced the depths of pain and suffering to be out there leading, because we know what it's like to deeply love on the other end of that. So that's what I would say.
I love it. And just before you tell everyone where to find you, I want to add my interpretation of that. If everybody can remember, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You have everything you need, or you would not be here. Be happy where you are, at the right place at the perfect time. But angle, don't go directly towards, angle, learn the lessons through the journey, find the light, the love, and the lessons through the perspective of gratitude, forgiveness, and accountability towards what you want, but have faith through our spirituality and our being that you'll end up somewhere better, because we don't know what we don't know. And I have thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you. We're going to have to do this again.
Yeah.
Gabby Ortega, where can people find you?
Absolutely. I live on Instagram. That's where I am.
I live on Instagram. So do I.
Yeah.
Don't tell my family. I'm in an alternate universe. I live on Instagram. Maybe we can live together on Instagram, you and me.
I'll be here. Yeah.
It's a better house than TikTok.
I don't know. I don't want the TikTokers coming after me, but
No, they can come after me all they want. They can come after me all they want. I like Instagram. That's for me.
Me too. Yeah, so it's at OM_therapy_coaching. I answer all my DMs. I love talking with you. Ask me questions and ask for recommendations. I'd love to connect.
Awesome. Gabby Ortega, thank you so much. Let's do this again.
Yes, thank you, David. So good to see you.
Thanks, Senator. Great to see you.
Bye.
Awesome. How awesome is she? Right up my alley. That's all I gotta say. Huh, Colleen? You'd be best friends with you. She's amazing. I know my friend Kirsten might be here still to ask a quick question live at Good Works. Let me just grab that down. I got a little bit behind. I got the Junior Achievement Worldwide right after this. Training on Friday. We are just going. Justin, I knew you like that. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Hi there. How are you?
You light up my screen. You are full of great aura and energy. Just to follow Gabby, you're fitting right into the crowd. Welcome.
And what a powerful conversation that was. Thank you so much for having me.
Super cool. Super cool. I know you have a question, but before you ask me a question, give us a little bit of background about it's Good Works Co.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me a little background on what you do.
Sure. So my name is Kirsten Nimmo, and I'm the founder of Good Works, and we're a social innovation consultancy. So we help brands act with purpose, typically through campaigns, training, and brand building. And we have deep expertise in allyship and anti-racism. So really excited to work in those areas.
I love anything that creates the holiness with the W, bringing us all together, allowing us to appreciate how we're the same, but also appreciate how we're different. What question do you have for me?
Yeah, so I have a question about a challenge that we're facing right now. We know that last year there were global protests, about racial injustices happening here, and great to see so many people becoming part of that movement. We also saw brands stepping up to, be in solidarity with the Black community. Now that we're a little bit a ways from that, I would love to know how you think that we can keep those commitments top of mind that brands were making, and keep this as a priority for decision makers at leading companies.
I think we have to keep the conversation going, right? And the conversation needs to be one of what I spoke of before, of appreciating how we're all the same within the corporate context, and also teaching corporations to impact their consumers with how we can appreciate the differences, whether it's changing the employment arena of how they do things, or whether it's the way they brand themselves or the messaging that they use, but elevating the conversation, because awareness is interesting, because awareness takes education, and it takes connectivity, and the last thing that we want to do is separate or obligate, because it'll create resentment and offense, and instead what we want to do is keep that construct of open minds that I was talking about at the very beginning, of where I'm searching for people with open minds, and I'm looking to help motivate and inspire people to open their mind, and utilizing simple questions, also being and enjoying, by the way, the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of that potential. I'm on a very big mission like you, and mine's complementary to yours, which is to empower over 1 billion people on earth to be happy. And part of that is the recognition, and recognition is the recollection, the remembrance. Look at all these words. What do they entail? Coming together, right? They coming together. And we spend so much time not appreciating the differences, but worse, not even focusing in on the similarities. And so, especially in the corporate environment, just like I was talking to Gabby, as a superpower of being more a theta healer and quantum healer, and being able to apply that to the financial realm of losing over $100 million, I also share with you the same vision, but understand the corporate bureaucracy and structure, and have lived in it at the highest level for years. And so I know how to influence and impact. And we start with that internal conversation. Then we talk about the conversation and branding to the consumers. But I think it's important that you stay consistent out there with that conversation, without separating, offending, or creating resentment, but educating, empowering, and impacting in a positive realm. And if you can tie, which, I try all the time, articulating the quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for. So, where corporations really listen is, it's like, yeah, I like equality. Yeah, I like to give money to charity. Yeah. Oh, I can make money for that. If you can articulate the quantitative value to exceed what you're asking for, now we get the grand slam. We get the singles, the doubles, the triples, and the home run all together. And I'd be more than happy to help as well, if any of the conversations you're currently in or would like to create new ones. I love what you're doing, and I'm happy to support you. Does that sound fair?
It sounds great. Thank you so much for that. I totally agree. That bottom line is very important, and there's proof that focusing on impact and purpose can increase the bottom line, and also help create a more enjoyable employee experience, drive consumer brand love. So there's so much proof out there, and I agree about continuing the conversation. And really excited that I was able to do that with you today. I'd love to stay in touch on it.
Well, that'd be amazing. In the old days, they called it halo marketing. Today, it's much more complex, and we need leaders like you to make sure that we continue to grow. It's not an overnight solution, but as long as we enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit, exponential growth, compound interest, great change will happen, and we'll combine that persistence that you have with the patience that it takes. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Awesome. Check out Good Works Co., my dear friend. We have Gabby Kirsten. She is at Good Works with an XCO. Great question, great cause. Please look them up and support us. Remember, we're going to appreciate how we're the same and appreciate how we're different. All right, we're catching up on time here. Ian Cobble, you're in here, I believe, somewhere. I'm hoping. Psalm Select. Let me check it out real quick. Yeah, look at that. Picking it right up. Here we go. Looking where we're at, psalmselect.com. Hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. A little chilly out here. I have a few young kids, so I tried to get away from them and have some time with you this morning.
That's a perfect lead-in because obviously a lot has changed since our pandemic has hit us. One of them is the acceptability of kids, dogs, and noises. I'm in a closet, so if your setting's even more beautiful than mine. I'm the only one that set up a whole studio in my closet by a window. Anyway, Psalm Select, the wine business has gone crazy. You're in the wine subscription business. Give me an idea of how much it's grown and why you think it's grown so much.
You know what? I think a lot of people have a lot of passion for both, eating and drinking. And while you're at home during this time, I think that's the one of the best pastimes: music, family, food, and wine. And people don't really want to leave their houses due to the risk factor. So Psalm Select is perfect because we actually ship wines, price included, on 6 bottles or more to your home. And so it's very easy for people to find sommelier curated wines delivered to your home, each with a specific recipe. So that way you can enjoy your family. Maybe it's a Greek wine from Santorini and there's a specific recipe about fish stuffed with feta cheese and arugula. You can transport your life even though you're still in your New York City apartment. So those are the challenges. We're hopefully, bringing that sommelier experience home that you would normally have at a restaurant. We can deliver it to your front door.
And Ian, in case people don't know, is hopefully I pronounce, I'm like twist over my big lips, but Ian is a master sommelier, right?
So say smelier. Smelier is very easy.
Sommelier, perfect. Yeah, he is a master sommelier, which I want to point out because one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here, being someone who, in your system, I mean, I'm a huge fan, love the solution, the subscription, and the product. But you, to me, epitomize where business should be. Number one, you have extreme credibility. You're one of like 200 master sommeliers in the world, and so you have credibility. Then your business is an emotionally attached business, which I believe is part of the reason, as you stated, that it is escalated and accelerated during COVID because it has such emotional attachment. We are able to travel through the wine we drink. How many times have we sat at meals and we've ordered a specific wine because it reminds us of Santorini? Like you could see me light up when you said Santorini. I spent so much time. I studied oil and gas law in Greece and visited, and it just took me back. But then you also quantitatively, as I talked to Kirsten earlier, right? You can articulate the quantitative value of what you're providing in your home to exceed what you're asking for.
Exactly. We offer, it's a free thing to subscribe for our daily offers. You just go to Psalm Select, you put your email in, and you get a daily offer with the information that a sommelier would typically wow you with tableside. But they talk about the history of Santorini, that there's no water in the ground, that these are black soils, that the only water these grapevines get is from the droplets of air from the actual wind at night. So the concentration, the saltiness is actually a product of the place. It's like, for me, one of the most interesting things in the world. Obviously, my work is my passion, which is a blessing. But I would say that you've nailed it. And I think that it's great that you don't have to actually pay to join the subscription for our daily offer. We do have some great clubs that you can join that are easy for people who don't want to read their daily emails. But the business has so many ways for numerous people to interact, whether you spend $20 a bottle on wine or $200 a bottle on wine.
What do you think made you such a successful sommelier?
Always loved tasting things. I grew up in a kind of a gourmet household in Huntington Beach. My dad was always smoking Cubans. He would let me try his Romeo and Juliet to torpedoes, or if he had like a nice IPA, or if he had a special glass of wine. he would always let me taste it. You know, even if I was 14 or 13 years old, he wanted me to experience the world through taste. And when I went to Sonoma State, I played tennis for the school, and I got bit by the wine bug, and I got the flu pretty bad. So I ended up graduating with wine business and Spanish, and I got a job for $2 an hour working for the oldest port house in Portugal. So I ended up living there for a few months, which was not easy.
Where in Portugal is
I
that?
was in the Douro Valley, so I was working for Real Companhia Velha, which is where
Yeah, nice.
the oldest port house. And then I ended up having a little money saved from teaching tennis. So I traveled through Morocco, India, and all of Europe for about a year and a half. I came home broke, and I borrowed $150 from my dad to buy a suit. And I interviewed at the Wine Merchant in Beverly Hills, and I found out what a sommelier was and did. And then I followed that path. I found out about the Court of Master Sommeliers, and I took my introductory and certified shortly thereafter. And I was just very inspired by the professionalism and the ability to convey very complex information by the group of master sommeliers that were teaching me. And I really wanted to be like them and inspire others. And that's the dream that has come true with Som Select.
Yeah, I love that. I always say you're going to be the last of the suit generation with the stories about suit. Back in, when I graduated, I had to borrow, a suit, and I thought it was my lucky suit because I ended up getting the job. I wore that suit until it shined. It was amazing. The borrow suit, Scott Scher, who's up actually by you. Um, Last thing real quick, because it's just such an extraordinary business. Do you miss, because you're in the business of it, but you're also, a taster. Do you miss the interaction at the restaurants that you have
You know what?
compared to the online? I mean, although you're selling a lot more wine, which is terrific, but do you miss that personal interaction when you can see the person taste it?
I truly do. I mean, I've had so many great experiences, really inspiring people, whether that might be a person on their 40th anniversary and they want to drink something special, and we might do a food and wine pairing for them. But it's a double-edged sword, because at one part, working in restaurants is incredible. It's very inspiring, but you also are working, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and you're missing out a lot of time with family. So now that I'm actually 40 years old now, and I have 2 children, so working 12 to 12 is not quite appropriate. Although restaurants are closed, sadly. Hopefully that changes. But working 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. is not quite conducive for a balanced life. And anybody who's managing a large wine program in a restaurant will probably tell you there's slight imbalances. But there's a lot of pros and cons. There's a lot of pleasure to inspire people and see the light in their eyes when you bring a special bottle of wine, whether that be a wine from Santorini, a white wine from Santorini, or a red wine from Burgundy, from Chambon-Musigny, for example. People live life through their senses, whether that's your sight, your smell, your taste, your sound, your ability to hear music. I mean, for me, wine and food is such a huge part of my life, and I really love to share that with others. And that's really what Som Select does. Is it allows you to travel without kind of leaving your home. And we always say it's like bringing the sommelier experience home. Historically, sommeliers only worked in restaurants, but before restaurants existed, sommeliers actually oversaw goods and services for, owners of properties. And so the original sommelier was somebody who oversaw a particular wine getting from point A to point B. So that way a certain individual could have a great collection and enjoy life through taste. And so that's kind of what Som Select has done. And we're kind of bringing the old school sommelier back. Not traditional in the sense that we're not working in restaurants, but we really try to bring you the best prices, the best wines, the true stories, and a lot from highly sustainable, organic, and biodynamic producers, which I think is very important to remove any sort of chemicals from farming in general. So Som Select is dedicated to bring you wine in the best possible way that I've found.
It is, and it's amazing, and you do an amazing job at it. Real quick, last question, because I always ask this question when it comes to wine, because I don't have a very distinguished palate when it comes to wine. A little better with food.
Yep.
What's the best buy right now on Som Select?
You know what? Honestly, this is Gregoire Hoppeneau. This is a Cru Beaujolais. So anybody who talks to me about what is the best value if you're going to the store last minute and you want something fruit forward, it's Malbec from Argentina. Malbec from Argentina is incredible. For $20 a bottle, you can get some incredible wine. We do have some of those on the site, but right now this is Gregoire Hoppeneau, incredible single cru Fleury. So there's 10 crus of Beaujolais. So most people know Beaujolais Nouveau, which was, kind of tainted by the low quality coming in millions of gallons on boats for Beaujolais Nouveau. But there's 10 crus, and they're all incredible quality. They're usually $30 to $40 a bottle. And if you're ever confused on what to buy at a restaurant, if you order Cru Beaujolais, I'm telling you what, you're going to be happy 99% of the time. It goes with chicken, goes with beef, it goes with oxygen and sunshine. You can have it.
Goes with oxygen. That's good by me, man. Well, thank you so much for joining me. What a beautiful setting. What a great site. I have at SomSelect, SomSelect.com. Anywhere else they can reach out to you guys?
At Ian Cobble is my own personal Instagram. You can email us at info@somselect.com. Any questions you have about our clubs, about signing up, we have a private concierge that we can personally help you fill your cellar with any sort of goodies on a personal basis. We'll fly into your home and personalize the service. So we do anything you need, and it's been an honor to be here.
Oh, let's do it again. Thank you so much. Like, comments are rolling for it. Everybody enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Ian. Take care.
Come visit in Napa.
Oh, don't. We're coming right after this COVID. Me and Justin, I see him down there. He's going to listen all day. We're going to be there. Thanks for the invite.
Yep.
Awesome. The incredible Ian Cobble. He's a master sommelier. I can't pronounce that correctly. Never could. But he said sommelier is fine. Anyway, I got to jump to Junior Achievement Worldwide here in 5 minutes. We're going to honor the winner of the Junior Achievement Impact Award on our new show, hit show, 2-Minute Drill on Amazon Prime Video and Bloomberg TV. Check out 2-Minute Drill. You can't miss it. You're going to love it. If you want anything, David@dmeltzer.com. David@dmeltzer.com. Just reach out to me. It's not a problem. Books, guides, exercises. I'll sign my book. I'll send it to you. We'll share a glass of wine with Ian. Whatever you want, reach out to me. Richard Hamberry, he is the Impact Award winner from Sana Health. Come join me over at Junior Achievement Worldwide if you want this to continue. Christina, hello. Friday training is on networking, especially on Clubhouse, how to network in social media. It's going to be a great training. 6 a.m. Pacific time as well. We got the Breakfast of Champions, the Champion Club there on Clubhouse. 949-298-2905 to join my text community. I'm pinning it right now. David@dmeltzer.com. Check me out in about 3 minutes at JA Worldwide, 8:45 a.m. I got so much going on. I can't even continue. Most importantly, everyone, besides that I love you, be kind to your future self. Do good deeds. I'll see you tomorrow.